Good evening and welcome to the January Duluth School Board business meeting. I'm calling this meeting to order. I'm going to turn it over to Clerk Mike Sell for roll call. Member Banks.
Here.
Chair Dirk Eater. Here. Member Loeffler Kemp.
Here.
Wilfold.
Here.
I'm Clerk Mike Sell. I am here. Treasurer Sadowski.
Here.
Member Williams.
Here.
Superintendent Magus.
Present.
Assistant Superintendent Bonds. Present. Deputy Clerk Zunich.
Present.
Board Secretary Paquette.
Here.
And making their school board meeting debuts, student representative from Denfeld, Tamia Bowles. Student rep from East, Kalina Matila. Oh, so close. And our student rep from ALC is excused. Thank you, and we're so excited to have you here. Welcome. We will now do our Pledge of Allegiance, so please stand if you're able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda. So moved. Member Loeffler Kemp has made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Member Sadowski has seconded it. Do we have any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the agenda as it stands, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have an approved agenda. Now I'd like to turn it over to Assistant Superintendent Bonds for this month's school and community recognition.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and the producers producing. So step up just a little closer, and we are really so proud of what was accomplished. So members of the board, tonight I am incredibly honored to recognize a remarkable student and parent dynamic duo from our district, Eleni Hurt and her mother, Ashley Hurt. Eleni was recently named the 2025-2026 Trailblazer Fellow by the Anne Bancroft Foundation. This prestigious fellowship provided her with the opportunity to launch a powerful and deeply personal project. It was a podcast titled Mom and Me Navigating Mental Health Together. What makes this project truly special is the partnership between mother and daughter. Ashley, she stood beside Eleni's side as the co-host. Together, they have shown immense bravery by opening up to their audience their personal experiences with mental health. By sharing their journey so publicly, they are breaking down barriers, reducing stigma, and providing a sense of community with each other. And for those who face similar challenges, please join me in congratulating Eleni Hurt for her fellowship and for thanking both of them, Eleni as well as Ashley, for their vulnerability, dedication to mental health awareness. Congratulations. And of course, I always like to provide them an opportunity to share, and Eleni is ready to share it, as well as Ashley.
Thank you for having us here today. It's taken a long time. Sorry, I'm losing my voice from hockey. Been a long 4 years since we moved here to Duluth, but we've learned a lot. And with the help of the community, I've gained resources and the strengths and the courage to develop this podcast to spread awareness about mental health and to bring another resource into our community to help others.
I try not to speak for Eleni a lot, so I wanted her to have her say. There's a lot to be said about mental health. From what I've seen, a lot of it is surrounding crisis management. And there's a lot that has to happen once they're past the crisis stage to still take a while to get back into normal life. You know, you break an arm, there's recovery that's involved. Duluth has a tremendous amount of resources for as small of a town as it really is. There's members of this community that have pulled all of our family out of a dark hole. I've never done a podcast. Eleni sure hasn't. If it weren't for Asher and everything he does for the community with his creative studio, Duluth Creative Studio, we never would have been able to do this. If it weren't for our good friends Jeba and Diana and your coaches who are, Casey Mickelson also, our guest speakers on the podcast, I don't think it would have quite had that extra cherry on top sort of impact that it does. So I don't know if we have plans for the future, but really the community helped us make this as well. So if there's any decisions that you're a part of going forward involving mental health, please take it seriously, and thank you for doing so in advance.
And lady, before you sit down, can you just tell us all of us in the board and in the room and watching on YouTube, how can we listen to your podcast?
What are we on? We are on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. So those are the ways that you can listen to us.
What's it called?
Mom and Me Climbing Mountains Together.
Thank you. I will listen.
Thank you.
I just subscribed. That's amazing. That was a great school and community recognition. Thank you so much to all of you. Now we will move on to the report of the superintendent. So Superintendent Magus.
Yes, thank you. Let me just cast here a moment. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Here we are on January 20th with our superintendent's report. And for our new student representatives that will introduce themselves in just a moment, but just share, usually as part of the superintendent's report, your reports come as part of that. But I start off by sharing our mission, which is every student every day will be empowered with learning opportunities for growth, creativity, and curiosity in preparation for their future in a global community. Duluth Public Schools provides an academically engaging, safe, and inclusive environment with high expectations and responsible use of resources. And our core values are learning, excellence, equity, collaboration, and belonging. So our topics for tonight are first of all, our 2026 student representative introductions. And I'll introduce our folks in just a minute, or allow them to introduce themselves. I have an update on the Minnesota School Board Association, the conference we attended just last week, a legislative update, and then an update related to our board work session, which is a week from today, and then any other topics that come up. But first of all, we have 3 new school board representatives, and we really appreciate the work that's done by our school board representatives, providing voice to our board and for the public to hear about what's going on in our schools. Really, I think about you as you are the consumers of education and the most important people here. We wouldn't be here without you, so your voices are incredibly important to us. So tonight we have 2 of our 3 representatives. From the ALC, our representative was not able to be present, but that is Osiris Garcia Henderson, and then today we have Tamia Bowles from Denfeld, and Kalina Kalina from East. So normally there's like a little presentation, just kind of like what you've been doing this past month, but really we just want an opportunity for you to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about you. So since they're listed here, Tamia, why don't you go first? And then just click the button.
I'm Tamia Bowles from Denfeld. I'm a junior this year, and then a couple of clubs and stuff that I'm in is student government, dashboard, which is Denfeld after school happenings. Yeah, I think that's probably it.
That's great. Okay. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Kalina Madala and I'm the representative for East High School. I'm a part of a couple different things at East, and that includes student government. I'm also one of the officers for our Duluth East Key Club, which is a volunteering club. And I'm a part of Sources of Strength, Duluth East DECA, and I'm also a part of Circle of Friends and Hound Pack. And then outside of East, I also am a part of Youth in Government, and I also play piano. And those are kind of some things about me, and I'm really excited to be working with all of you.
Welcome. We're so glad to have you on our working with us and representing the students in your buildings. We'll also be setting up an opportunity to meet with your principal and with the board chair and myself, just to kind of talk through, the different role and what it looks like, and also talk about, like, when you're putting together your board report, what it can look like, and then also, talking with the principal about what is in the board report. So maybe, if there's something that he can fix, there and then for you, that's something that helps out too, right? But really appreciate you being here, and I joined the board in saying welcome to Duluth Public Schools School Board. The next is our Minnesota School Board Association conference update. We went to our conference on Wednesday night and attended all day Thursday and then on Friday, learning about many different topics, whether it was topics provided by even some of our own presenters. We had Danette Sebo and Todd McGowan were presenting on emergency response and crisis response, and so that was really awesome. So that was one of our conference presentations. But we had a wonderful time, and here's our annual photo standing next to the MSBA letters, all of us there that attended. But a couple of highlights that I want to particularly mention. One of the biggest highlights, the biggest, most important award given across the state for Minnesota School Board work is the All-State School Board. And this year, Jill Lofald was recognized as a member of the 2026 MSBA All-State School Board. She also was elected unanimously to the District 11 Director position for the MSBA Board of Directors. So want to first say congratulations, Jill. And actually, it's 2 years in a row that we've had there are only 7 people that are on that board, and so to have a nomination ever is really quite a feather in our cap. But to have back-to-back winners with Rosie Loeffler-Kemp having won last year, that's excellent. So we'll see who can win next year, right? But we also want to say congratulations to Sarah Mikesell. She was recognized for having received a Leadership Development Certificate, and I've got that for you here, for having completed all 4 phases of the MSBA training. And so this is the certificate that Sarah has won, and I will be bringing it over to her. Right. Congratulations. I didn't want to pass it down. And then for our legislative update, we are coming into the 2026 legislative session very soon. We're scheduled actually to meet with our local representatives a week from today in preparation for the legislative session. We have quite a few people that will be part of that meeting. Then we also worked together and facilitated the drafting of a joint letter from 11 state organizations urging bipartisan support for the reinstatement of protected status to schools related to immigration enforcement. So again, that letter was just about not trying to dive into the debate going on across the state, but just to say, let's keep our schools out of the immigration piece. And so that was what we're hoping for. And so 11 state agencies signed on to it, and there's pretty massive support for that. We're also planning for our 2026 legislative session lobbying efforts, which include the AMSD preview on February 6th. So I'll be attending that, and if a board representative might want to join me, that would be great. And then we also have the Duluth St. Louis County Days on March 18th and 19th, and many other opportunities like the MSBA Day, MASA, and so making sure that we're lobbying for our needs as a district is one of our important roles that we have. We also have a work session coming up. Our work session is coming up from 4 to 7, 1 week from today on the 27th, and we'll be focusing on the following topics. Legislative platform, again, we'll be meeting with our local legislative representatives. Quite a few are able to join us, so that's great. We'll also be working on our book study. We'll having more conversation on growth and capacity, and then we will also be having some conversations about budget. But I would recommend, looks like I have the number 7 twice. In preparation for the book study, board members are reading chapters 7 and 8 from our book. It's only about 15 pages, so it shouldn't be, if you're just getting to it now, it shouldn't be too bad. But it's the School Board Members Guidebook, Becoming a Difference Maker for Your District. So that concludes my brief report from Superintendent tonight.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Superintendent Magus? Member Loeffler-Kemp?
Just a comment. I just wanted to thank Superintendent Magus as well as Assistant Superintendent Bonds for joining us at the NSBA conference. It's always great to have our superintendents there with us and going to workshops and just being a part of that. So thanks for supporting us to go and grow as school board members and learn, but also for you taking the time to be there with us. So, thank you.
Thank you. And I really want to say thanks to you as a board as a whole, but also as individual board members for giving up, nearly 3 full days of time to invest in going from good to great and learning. And so really appreciate everybody's time there. And also thanks to Executive Assistant Patty Paquette, who did all the coordination, arranged the meals, arranged the rooms, everything else. So thank you, everybody who was part of that effort. Thank you, Member Loeffler-Kemp.
Seeing no other discussion, we'll move on to our reports from standing committee. We'll have Assistant Superintendent Bonds. Oh, I'm sorry. Attached to your board book, you can see there's a schedule of meeting and events. And as Superintendent Magus pointed out, we have a school board work session on Tuesday, January 27th at 4. And then we also, Tuesday. And then we also have some other meetings that week. And then following February 5th, we will have our February monthly committee of the whole, not report, but actual meeting. Now we will have our committee of the whole. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see.
I just turned it
Okay.
on. I was just thinking of our student reps who are here. If you have questions, just push the button. We'll see your green light, and then the chair will call on you. That's all.
Thank you, Member Williams, for pointing that out. It's one of the little technicalities that we have to figure out. Okay, so we did our schedule of meeting and events. Now we'll move on to reports of our standing committee, and now we will turn it over to Assistant Superintendent Bonds for the report on the monthly committee of the whole meeting.
Thank you. And thank you, Member Williams, for pointing out to our student reps. And your input and thoughts are always appreciated, so don't hesitate. You can push that green light and we will call on you. So please do that. So thank you again for the COW meeting. Under Supporting Every Student, there was a presentation provided by the Director of Secondary Schools, Jen Larva. She provided the 26-27 course changes. So I do encourage individuals to please go on the website, and you will be able to find the course changes that were being presented for approval this evening. So thank you to Director Larva and everyone who worked on developing those courses and for the changes that are being made for next year. Also under the umbrella of Teacher Learning Aid Board summary reports, there were 4 provided during that session. Under Key Zone, Melissa Fanny and Kate Corbett provided a summary report related to their programming with our child care provider in our schools, which is Key Zone. Also a presentation by Director Larva. She had several that day. Under that, provided an update related to our Check and Connect programming, which is our mentoring programming that we provide our high school students. It's more than mentoring, but to capture it in a succinct way, I think of it as our mentoring program for our students. Our Check and Connect update was provided by Jen Larva, as well as the secondary schedule update provided by Jen, and the course credit update also provided by Director Larva. So just want to say thank you to Director Larva for getting those summary reports and working with the team to create those things, because a lot of information was gathered and provided. So I want to say thank you to her publicly and to everyone who worked on it with her. And that concluded our COW meeting agenda.
Do we have any questions for Assistant Superintendent Bonds? And I think I see Member Lofalds. Member Williams, could you slide yours out a little bit? Okay, perfect. Member Lofald and then Member Loeffler-Kemp.
So just a quick thank you about, just some feedback, because I think this was our first COW meeting where, really it was our second COW meeting, but the first COW meeting, I didn't quite understand the whole kind of, what are we calling it? Informational presentations.
reports.
What is it called?
Summary board reports.
Summary board reports. So we had one on Key Zone and then again on Check and Connect and even secondary school schedule. And I just want to give you some feedback that I found them refreshingly strong and, not, I think I panicked a little bit because we've been been doing a lot of, kind of longer presentations, but looking at all of the things we have to cover, and COW meetings are so incredibly interesting, they're incredibly important to us. And so I thought that Key Zone and Check and Connect especially, you captured, kind of that essence and gave us some great feedback. So I want to continue to, refine that, listen to that, make sure it's working for everyone else. I thought it worked this month, and so I just want to give you that feedback. I really want to appreciate, it seems to me we just start the school year, like it's like September, and our curriculum and our leaders that are sitting back there are already visioning for the next school year. Like, once we get it started, you guys are well on your way, because to bring to us in January your course catalog changes, and then to see all of the course offerings, all of the opportunities for our students, all of the alignment to standards that you have been doing behind the scenes for the last 5 to 6 months, maybe even much longer, because your visions are going there. I just thought that was incredible and overwhelming, and I had to spend more time afterwards just sifting through it. And I did sift through it again tonight, and I'm ready to support those course changes. But, just a real appreciation for what we're doing for a district to move our district forward. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. I also just wanted to comment on the course catalog, and I appreciated the additional information and clarifications on the broadcast journalism class course, and the continued rationale for the changes. I'm gonna, or I look forward to hearing kind of those next steps for staff involvement in the creating of that course, as well as future opportunities for student involvement and feedback on what they like and what they felt might be missing as well. So I just appreciated the additional information, because we did talk quite a bit about that, and I know there were other board members besides myself that raised some questions on that switch. So appreciated the follow-up on that. And, I concur, like we talked about at the meeting too, just we offer so many rich courses here in our district, and new electives, and we're very fortunate that we do. Our students are very fortunate as well in the community. So thank you for all the staff time that put into rethinking the courses and working to see that they meet the needs of our future. So thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no other, comments, we'll move on next to our Human Resources and Business Services, to Member Stowski.
Yep, we had our HR Business Services Committee meeting on Monday, January 12th, and you can find that meeting on YouTube. I'd really recommend everyone to kind of check out our YouTube for all of our committee meetings. That's where you can see us go through our whole meeting. We address a lot of different reports. In that meeting, we had a little over an hour meeting that day. I'm going to hit the highlights here and then open it up to questions. Hopefully, everyone had a chance to review our HR packet on Board Book. So my first update from our HR report is that the Minnesota PFML paid family medical leave has begun, and our district has seen 20 applications so far. We asked a few questions about that. There's a 50-50 contribution, so that's a benefit where the employee contributes a little and the employer contributes a little. And then I had asked a few other questions about that, including if we're allowing topping off of, PFML's just been in my brain because of work. So I had asked about that, and we're not doing a top off, which means if someone qualifies for PFML, they get a percentage of their wage, and that's what they get. Let's see, we also received a request to bargain from NCBAA, which is the Non-Certified Business Division Administrators Association, and we're currently still in negotiations with the DWEA Group, which is the Duluth District-Wide Administrators Association. Moving on to our enrollment report, we are still above where we were last year, so that is good news. So that's what I would say about our enrollment report. We've talked about how our enrollment is growing in the district, and we're very thankful for that, and thankful for the work of everyone in our district for creating robust electives, the work that we've done on our secondary schedules and our middle school schedules, our Spanish and our Ojibwe immersion. I think there's a lot of reasons for increased enrollment. Seeing no questions or buttons pushed so far, I'll just keep going on. So our child nutrition report, a lot of information in there, but one thing that we talked about that Director Zunich pointed out is that we recently added an extra serving line window for Ordine lunches. And that has been a really great thing for our Ordine students, making sure that they're getting through the line quicker, have more time to eat, have more time to take a little break and get through that lunch line. So really appreciate the work of our staff who made that happen for our Ordine students. I know that getting through the lunch line at any of our schools can sometimes be a challenge. So appreciated hearing that from a parent perspective too. Our facilities report, construction on the First Street building remains underway. And then there was a long list, which hopefully you got to review, of many projects happening at all of our schools across the district. And we also gave a shout out to our facilities staff for maintaining operational standards, despite recently in the last month, flu has been going around. I think we all know that, but they've experienced that too. So a lot of times that work still needs to happen and it falls on fewer people. So we really appreciate our facilities staff. For our technology report, we heard a little bit about this in public comment today, but Google Gemini was enabled for staff in the beginning of January after educators were provided additional AI training. So there's that staff piece. And then we're still hiring for several key technology positions at this time. And later I'll talk about in our expenditure contracts, one that's kind of related to that, to those gaps. Actually, that was more related to HR, actually, now that I think about it. Seeing no lights on so far, I'll keep going. So for transportation, we have a driver trainee program, and we had a driver trainee who passed his test and is now licensed to be a bus driver, which is really great to hear. And we have 29 buses in our district with an average mileage of those being 100,141 miles of roads. It's a lot of roads to travel in Duluth. For our resolutions, we just have the resolution for donations to Duluth Public Schools coming from our committee. I just would point out that a great majority of these were for the ALC Student Holiday Auction, which is a really special event each year. I know that Member Mike Sell at our HR committee shared that she was able to go, I think, along with Member Williams. So appreciate you both going on behalf of the board, and it sounds like it was another special event. And then on our consent agenda, there is an individual contract for our Director of Human Resources, Steve Johnson. We're really glad to have Steve on our team, so you'll see that on there. And then, of course, our financial report, which is on for me, it's page 31. And I'm going to flip to that and just make a few comments. Hopefully, everyone heard the full report. But there are a few things to point out on here. So I would just point out that for the food service, we're sitting at you'll see in the kind of the far right-hand column, a percent spent line. And that's more of a guideline because it really depends on maybe when we spend money throughout the year. For example, if we spend
a lot on technology in the beginning of the year, because we need it at the beginning of the year, you might see a higher percentage based on the percentage of where we're at in the year. But for food service, you'll see it's at 73%. And you may remember that in December, our auditor said that we're in a good position. We do buy a lot of materials for our food service up front. So that's why you'll see that. Member Banks, I just saw your lights on. Do you want to?
May I?
Yeah, please.
So just a quick question for our student representatives. I don't know if they have the answer to this question. Wondering how the lines are for high school lunches, and are you experiencing any of the same kinds of things that Orlean East has experienced?
I think I can speak directly about this, even though I'm a junior this year, so I'm able to go off campus, and I don't usually eat the school lunch this year. I know last year a lot of my fellow peers, they had the issue of not getting food until sometimes the last 10 or 15 minutes, and I feel like it's been an issue since middle school, and I'm really glad that they've had that accessibility. And I was wondering if there was any way we can make that for East High School, because I know there's still a lot of students that are getting their food late, and we do have a lot of people there. So that's something I want to touch on too.
I would probably say that also at Denfeld, there has been like a lot of, like the lines are really long. And then I also would agree with her. A lot of the time we have to sit, especially in the hot food line, we end up having, by the time we get our food, there's only 10 minutes left of lunch. And I think for me and a lot of my friends, when it takes that amount of time, then we just end up leaving, which then leaves us having to spend our own money on food because it's going to take too long and we won't have enough time to even eat it, especially if it is just the hot food. And I would also say that a lot of the times we do run out of food quite often, I would say, even though like it's just like it is majority of the food, even if it's just the hot food. But yeah, so I think that's something that might need work on, just making sure that the lines are more efficient for everybody.
Excuse me, I'm hopeful that we can look into that as well. Thank you.
Yep, thank you for that good question, Member Banks. And I know I have a junior at East who usually packs a cold lunch from home, is lucky that he can do that. But yeah, I think one of the reasons he does that is the long lines and not just wanting a little more time to eat. So thank you for those comments from our student school board reps. Seeing no other lights on, I'm going to continue with the kind of some comments on our budget summary. So I was talking about our food service. We're in a good position there as far as where we're at with the budget anyway. And for transportation, we're at about 64%. And really, at this time of the year, it should be closer to that 50%. So we're running over budget on transportation. A lot of that has to do with increased busing needs, fuel costs, and then our third-party contracts with Voyager Bus. So just wanted to point that out. And then our general fund is sitting at about 49%, which normally we'd like to see it around that 43 to 44%. A lot of this is because we have a lot of special ed needs that, as we know, aren't fully covered. And so then when they're not, they're pulled out of the general fund. Also increased busing, and then just increased staff needs as well. So those are some of the reasons. And then I also would just kind of point out a couple of the kind of unfunded mandates that are kind of happening with the READ Act, which is wonderful, but that also comes with lane changes. Steps or lanes, one of the two, which is our teachers fully deserve, but that is a cost to the district. And then another one was subs for PFML, I believe. Was that right, Director Zunich? So if it was subs for, hold on. Overloads. Yep, for PFML. So, you know, the PFML is paid family medical leave from the state, right? We pay in, the employer and the employee both pay in, but that also doesn't cover a sub that might be needed during that. So that'll be something that's coming up. So just wanted to point that out. Any questions or comments on the budget? Member Eater, Chair Eater.
So I know you said we had 20 applications so far, and this new act that went into effect in January 1st, or? So do we have any idea what we're thinking of the number of people that are going to apply for this? And do you think, does 20 seem reasonable right now for an act that's just been for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks? So I'm just curious your thoughts on that.
It's hard to tell because we have leave options with the district and with the state, and because you can't combine them both, people can look at what the best option is. I can tell you as of today, we had 40 applications, so that's doubled since our HR business meeting.
Member Lofald, or were you done, Chair Eater? Did you have a follow-up? Okay.
So then I'm just thinking about, as we think about our legislative agenda moving forward, and then already sort of being somewhere between 6 to 7% outpacing where we should be for our general fund budget. I know that we have these increased costs due to special education and transportation and other things, but what are we thinking? Did we think ahead in terms of how this PFMLA was going to affect our sub-needs and how we're going to address that as we kind of move forward?
I did build a number into this year's budget when I built it last spring.
And then lastly, how long are we going to be getting contributions from the state of Minnesota for this program? Is it just a 1 year where they're sort of doing some reimbursements for us or not? Or am I misreading that
No,
totally?
it's kind of like Medicare or something like that. I would let Steve maybe chime in, but it's both paid by the employee and the employer.
Yeah,
So we
there's
do
a
have
ta-
to chip in.
There's a
Sorry.
tax that the state
Yep.
has on employees and the employer, and there's a cap on how much it can be, and then the employee and the employer are splitting that tax.
So we are, as of right now, we are receiving money from the state to cover some of this, or no, that's another, I'm thinking earn sick
So
and
we're
safe time?
paying money for the benefit of it.
Okay,
And then if they go on the leave through the state, we aren't paying that leave, the state of Minnesota is.
okay, got it.
But it all depends which option they're using as well.
Okay,
Yep.
right, thank you. I'm done now, thank you.
Glad you're here, Steve. Thank you. Member Lofald?
Yeah, glad you're here, Steve, too. Are we adding staff to our HR just to cover some of the mandated earn, save, and sick time and the PFLM? Did I get that? Is there more? I mean, do we need a staff person just to oversee that?
We have two benefits people. We have a coordinator and a specialist. And as of now, that's what we're expected to use, and it's working.
Okay, okay.
It's just a matter of us communicating with the state approving it, and then us getting the letters out. So as of now, it's definitely manageable.
Okay, that's really good to hear, because sometimes I think for me personally, I'm going to go to the legislatures and say, see, this is the unintended consequence of, really good legislation. I appreciate that, but, there's always that extra either staff, and I'll go into that letters thing too. That's another thing that we certainly are grateful and appreciative and lucky to have teachers and staff that have trained in the letters and are bringing that kind of instructional excellence to our students. But what I want legislators that I sit right at the table with, and I want them to know that we appreciate it, but that with that, it also puts a little bit more of a strain. And not that I think they should pay for that letters thing, but although there's some continuing money we'd like for more training, right, back there, Jen and Brenda? So that could be something. I'm just trying to think of how we go forward and ask legislators with stories. They like examples, and so we want to do that too. And then my last comment is, we are so fortunate to have Simone Zunich at the lead of our CFO. The fact that over my years on the board, I have learned so much about finances, but the tools that our work has done. I mean, we funded and have allowed our district to buy and use tools to help Simone. The fact that she's got future forecasting, she can go 5 years out so that we're not caught with like kind of a gotcha year. We know percentages of where we're at every month. I don't think there's a lot of boards, as I listen to other board meetings, they're not getting that kind of budget updates and budget finance. So just really feel confident about, even though it's a tight budget. And yeah, I'm appreciative of that.
So.
Thank you for your comments. Oh,
Go ahead, sorry.
Superintendent Magus.
Go ahead. If I could comment, though, there previously, before Mr. Johnson became Director of Human Resources, when we were doing our budget reductions, when we're looking at the human resources staffing, there were some different considerations of where we might make reduction. But because we knew of this impending change, there was a position that we decided we needed to keep, or, basically within the department, because we didn't want to take away from that, knowing that we had these added needs. So even though we're not adding, we didn't take away, partly because we knew this was coming.
Great, thank you. All right, I will continue. Under our miscellaneous information, on page 38, at least in my packet, you'll see that I wanted to point out that we had a notice of intended projects. And these are projects that are embedded in our LTFM plan, our long-term facilities maintenance plan. It's strictly informational, but you can kind of get a update on some projects that are happening or upcoming. So I just wanted to point that out. And then under our expenditure contracts, you'll see a couple that I wanted to point out. We had quite a few, but one was for solar, and that was for Whipfly, and it's our solar project audit. And so this is kind of the last piece of the solar, and I made sure to go connect with some of our climate club students that were here after public comment, just to kind of let them know about this final piece, even though it's kind of an administratively boring piece. It's important. So there's this audit that's going to happen that Whipfly's going to do for us. It's where we'll submit our last invoices, and then we may get a $200,000 tax credit back. That's something that we'll see probably in FY27. But just wanted to point that one out, kind of one of the last pieces of that. And then also at the top, you'll see a couple human resources consulting contracts, and that's really going to help fill gaps, some current gaps, and provide just some extra support to our human resources team. Superintendent Mangus, do you have anything to add to that?
Just that we have somebody going out on an extensive leave that is part of that one of those gaps, and so this is more to fill that key position, because that key position has content knowledge specific to payroll, and we want to make sure that our payroll continues as it should. And so it is providing a little bit of support to Mr. Johnson, Director Johnson, as he moves into his position, but it's more about filling that position as opposed to being an additional contract, because sometimes we have questions about additional contracts, and just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate that. Member Lofald?
I hate to keep, hogging the microphone, but that was one of my questions after listening and taking notes during your meeting last week. I just don't understand what a solar project audit is, and that it costs $6,250. And does that come from the grants that we've gotten? I just don't know what that is. So I know that Simone
I'll
will.
let Director Zunich speak to that. I think she could do that a little more clearly.
Thank you. So this is as Member Sadowski said, this is the last part of our solar project. Because of the monies that we received for it, we've also were able to apply for a tax credit, but we have to hire a CPA. It can't just be done in-house. The CPA has to file these tax credits. It's an intensive process. So one of the auditors at Whipfly will be doing that work for us. And they can't do it till FY27 because it was installed in FY26. They have to wait for the school year to be done. So this is the last piece, and now we should be able to receive a significant amount of money to offset the original purchase.
Great, thank you for that. Chair Eater.
You said once the audit is done, we have the potential for a $200,000, and that's cash back to us?
Cold, hard cash.
Okay, good, because I'm like, tax credit, who do we pay taxes to? But, okay, so that is cold, hard cash back to us. And then, if I did my math right, and I was thinking district, we have somewhere around 1,100 employees-ish?
Do you want me to answer? It's over 1,600. It's
Oh,
close to
okay.
1,700.
1,700, okay, never mind, then my math is wrong, because I was trying to look at what percentage of our workforce is applying for this, so I'm just curious if that's something that other districts and other businesses are tracking to look, okay, once this is now, we have a percentage of our workforce that's applying for this. Does that seem high? Does that seem low? I'm just trying to wrap my arms around what this is going to look like for us, and it is very unpredictable. But I will go back and redo my math on that one, because it's probably now around 2 to 3%, I would think. Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you. And the last couple things I'd point out is we had one revenue contract on page 116, and this was for the St. Louis County Family Services Collaborative, who's providing funding for our MTSS, multi-tiered systems of support. And then our grant applications are on page 119, and I would just say that we had a handful of grant applications, and I really appreciate the work of the folks that are writing those grants. That's a lot of work to do, and we really appreciate, especially in these times, folks that have that skill set and are willing to put in that work for grants, for resources for our schools. Any other questions or comments, or members Mike, Sell, and Banks, if I forgot anything important that you think I should have brought up? Okay, thank you.
Member Loeffler-Kemp for our policy review.
Yep, thank you. So our policy committee met on Tuesday, January 13th, and our policy committee this year includes Jill Lofold and Stephanie Williams, so thank you both. And also want to, as always, thank Patty Paquette for all the work that she does to the research and the work to bring our policy committee together. For the student reps that are here, just to let you know, all of our policies that you're going to hear us talk about are on our website, and so you can go and do some research on, they're all by different topics on what they're about. And many of our policies, most of our policies are based on state statutes and laws, okay? So when you go through that, so I did not ever think policy would be something I would be really interested in when I think I was your age, but I think it's pretty cool now. So, but if you have questions along the way, please feel free to ask. So we had one policy for first reading. That's policy 612.1, development of parental involvement policies for Title I programs. And this is replacing 1067 parent community involvement policy. And we always like to read just the purpose of the policy so the community can hear, but all of the policies have many other sections in them as well. But so I'm going to read the purpose of this policy is to encourage and facilitate involvement by parents of students participating in Title I in the educational programs and experiences of students. The policy shall provide the framework for organized, systematic, ongoing, informed, and timely parental involvement in relation to decisions about Title I services within the school district. The involvement of parents by the school district shall be directed towards both public and private school children whose parents are school district residents or whose children attend schools within the boundaries of the school district. And a lot of input was brought forward with this policy, and I want to thank our principal, Dr. Darren Sheldon, who oversees our federal programs. with bringing together some of the different committees that brought this policy forward. You can go through and see the legal references and cross-references that go with this policy. So this is a first reading, and it will come back next month for a second reading. The next policy, the other thing I just wanted to say on that, we have another policy that's being worked on that's broader than Title I, and it's Policy 909, which is the Family Community School Engagement Policy. And I just want to highlight this. We're replacing 1067, but there's a separate policy that's in the works that you'll continue to hear about. The next thing on our agenda then was policy for a second reading, and Policy 709, Student Transportation Safety Policy, and this is replacing 3150 and 3160. And the Student Transportation Safety Policy, the purpose of this policy is to provide safe transportation for students and to educate students on safety issues and the responsibilities of school bus ridership. We had a good discussion this month as well, just on the variety of ways that training happens for our students and our staff. And then also we talked a bit more about the Student Transportation Safety Hazard Committee that school boards may establish, and we have established it. We have a board rep, I believe it's Henry Banks, that is serving on that as well. So that is our, this is the second reading for Policy 709. And again, this policy is replacing 3150 and 3160. And then the last thing that we spent time on was policies to consider for deletion. And board members know we've been going through all our 1,000 series, and the last two series is 8,000 and 9,000. And we reviewed those policies. There were 9 in the 8,000 series under school board and 4 under school board bylaws. And we recommend deleting it for now. Many of these policies that fell under the 8,000 and 9,000 series, we already had passed, and they went to our 200 series. And we adopted them in between April 2024 and June 2024. So we are recommending those be deleted. And we, all of the series that we've been reviewing over the last year in the 1,000 series, we either deleted or they're in committees right now being worked on, and they'll be brought back to us. So that was our policy meeting for January, and we are just really excited to have gotten to that drum roll point of reviewing all of the 1,000 series. So thank you is right. Thank you. Any quick questions? Member Sadowski? Yep.
Just a comment, I really appreciate the work of everyone who served on our policy committee over the last 4 to 6 years. I remember having conversations about how to tackle all of these policies probably 4.5 years ago now. And so just appreciate your work chairing that committee throughout the last 4 years. And again, I would just echo your thanks to Patty too for her work on the policies.
Thank you. Member Lofold?
Member Zadowski beat me to the punch, because I was going to say the same thing. Just we just finished my first year on the policy committee, and I learned a lot and really appreciate all of the years that you have been doing this. And the fact that we can delete these series is a real testament to, you know, the work of the committee, the work of your staff, here, because the people sitting in the back of the room too are the ones that are really bringing the people together to sort it all out. And then we have our MSBA colleagues that double check and give you all the legalese and all the double things. And then I just want to thank Member Mike Sell too. That was you were on the policy committee for 2 years. And just really, I know you're moving to the finance committee, and we get to welcome back Member Williams. And, but I just want to thank you too for your work there. I learned a lot.
That's the policy.
Just one comment. I know we've gone through the series for the most part. We do have the 6,000 and the 7,000 series to come back to. So we've got those to do yet. But really appreciative of all the work. And today more than ever, I just think about how irreplaceable Patty is, and she's an amazing support to all of us.
Thank you. Okay, any other comments? Okay, thank you.
Thank you for those committee updates. Now, do we have any general board committee updates that the board would like to share? Member Sadowski.
Yeah, I'm just getting out my notes. Give me 1 second. I have the page. I think I have the right notebook open. So, yeah, I was just going to give a report about the Head Start Policy Council meeting. Let's see, I forget which date it was exactly. Hold on. Sorry, I have this electronic notebook, and sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate. But regardless, I would, it was on January 8th. And these are held at Lowell Elementary in one of the Ojibwe immersion classrooms, which is kind of fun. But a great group of parents again. And I would say an update from this meeting is that I might get the name wrong, but Jen Fuchs, a mental health coordinator, was there to kind of give an update to the Head Start Policy Council parents and those of us that were in attendance. She talked about current needs and responses to needs, especially in regard to mental health in preschool. So that was really interesting. And then one of the parents has been collaborating with one of our education coordinators in Head Start to kind of put together extended learning kits. So when kids are not able to go to Head Start, maybe for illness or one reason or another, they can have these little kits, and usually they identify items that anyone would have in their home, so that the parent can then be kind of the teacher at home with their kids. So that was kind of neat.
Member Lofeld.
So too, just like Member Zadowski, all of us sit on committees, and they're all rolling out now this month, and we've got new committees that we've been assigned, but I know that, I think ours was also on January 8th, but Member Mike Sell and I attend the Quality Steering Committee. It's the committee that goes from 8 o'clock till noon, 5 times a year, so every other month or so. And it's as school board members, we're really there to listen. It is a meeting that brings together our administration team, our DFT president and the officers for DFT, and then there are representatives from all of our people, like our principals and our teachers and our SPED department. And so it's really a bringing forth. And if you have never seen the kind of scaffolding as well, because this is a group that has already met in other smaller groups with just their colleagues to, talk about successes and challenges, and then they bring them to the Quality Steering Committee. And I'm sharing that we went, Member Mike Sell and I, we are representatives of the school board. Our job is to just listen and to be there to watch this labor management process. And so I just want to really assure other staff and workers in our building and our district, because there's been some comment that board members need to be more involved in our labor management. And this is where we are involved. And it's a big lift. And we're there, and we really do listen, and we understand, and we get to listen to every voice there. and then we're there. That's where we get information. And so I just want our community to know too, that not only do we attend other functions, but this is a regular, formal, it has an agenda, it has a process, and it is, factual, and it's credible, and it is what we do to help our district move and celebrate and to move forward with challenges. So just want to be clear that the school board is a part of the labor management. And I'd like to thank you for being on the, putting me on that committee, but I also know that all of us would like to serve on that committee, but again, the meeting time and the commitment for those of us that have 40-hour-a-week jobs, I'm blessed that I'm retired and can serve the board, and I'm honored to do that. But it is on behalf of all of us that we're there. So I just want to, and the minutes are on our staff monthly newsletter that goes out. So I encourage all of us to read those minutes. And if you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to Member Mike Sill or myself.
Thank you. Member Loeffler-Kemp.
Thank you. And I had served on that committee for many years, and I'm not this year. And I do encourage everyone to review the minutes and that. And I appreciate what Member Lofold said, that the two of us who have served or are currently serving on do go there on behalf of the whole board. One of the committees I serve on is the Duluth Public Schools Endowment Fund, which is an endowment fund that allows school staff and buildings to apply for grants of $500 to building-wide $5,000. And today was the day that it opened up for staff to start applying, and the application process goes until February 19th. And then there is a committee that will review the grants, and then it'll come in front of our board in April for approval. We generally give about 20 grants from schools across the district. And many of them are a staff or two that do a grant application together, but there's building-wide grant applications, and that has a focus on mental health funding. So we really appreciate the community that supports this Duluth Public Schools Endowment Fund, and the other board of directors for this are often retired teachers in our district or community members. And it's administered by the Boreal Foundation, the former Duluth Community Foundation. So I just wanted to announce that the applications are open today. And the applications are really easy for staff to apply for. It's very streamlined. So spread the word amongst your friends in the district. So thank you.
Seeing no further, seeing no further clubs, or I don't know why I just said clubs, seeing no further committee reports, we will now move on. Sorry, I lost where my agenda was at. We will now move on to the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to accept the consent agenda? So moved. Member Lofold has made a motion to accept the consent agenda. Do we have a second? Member Williams has seconded the motion. Do we have any discussion on the consent agenda? Seeing no discussion on the consent agenda, all those in favor of passing the consent agenda, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? We have passed the consent agenda. Moving on to resolution from committee reports. Member Sadowski. We have acceptance of donations to the Duluth Public Schools.
Yes, I move resolution B-1-26-4154. This is the resolution for the acceptance of donations to Duluth Public Schools.
Thank you. Member Sadowski has made a motion to accept the donations to the Duluth Public Schools. Do we have a second? Member Banks has seconded it. Do we have any discussion? Seeing no discussion on acceptance of the donation to the Duluth Public Schools, all those in favor of this motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have accepted the donations to the Duluth Public Schools. Moving on, we have special resolutions and action items. We have a resolution for employment of a school board member by the district. Member Loeffler Camp.
I move resolution HR 126-4152, employment of a school board member by the district, whereas the school board member below will be employed by the Duluth Public Schools doing their service as a school board member, and whereas Minnesota Statute 123-123B.195, board members' right to employment requires that the member receive a majority approval by the school board to be initially employed or to continue in employment at a meeting at which all board members are present, and whereas Minnesota Statute 123B.195, board members' right to employment states that the employment relationship will not exceed $20,000 in a fiscal year, excluding compensation for being a school board member. Be it resolved that the school board authorize the employment of the following school board member as listed, not to exceed $20,000 in a fiscal year. And it's board member Jill Lofold, January through December 2016.
Do we have a motion for HR 1-264152 by member Loeffler Kemp. Do we have a second? Second. Member Williams seconded it. Do we have any discussion? Member Lofold.
I'd just like to explain to the board that I'll be abstaining from the vote, so just want to tell you that up front. But I've also had a couple of questions which have not always happened. You have voted on this resolution for my whole 8 years, now going into my 9th year, because I am a speech coach at Denfeld. And so according to that statute, I know that, sometimes they think that could be a conflict of interest, but with listening to the Minnesota School Board Association, they know that there are districts where there's bus drivers and there's food service and there's, substitute teachers. And at times I've been a substitute teacher and I hope to do that, more of that over the year. So I just appreciate this state statute that allows that to happen. But sometimes I've been asked in the public, and I know that there's new school board reps and there's no more community people coming. I just want you to know that I take that role seriously, and I'm glad that there's an opportunity for a school board member in any district in our state to also give a service back to our district. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Do we have any other discussion?
Just one comment.
Oh, yeah,
if I could.
member.
I just wanted to say on behalf of the school district, we really appreciate your service to the district as a speech coach, not just a regular speech coach, but an amazing state and nationally recognized coach. And so your service back to our community, to our students, to our families is much appreciated. And we've also appreciated previous work, as you've mentioned, by other board members as substitute teachers and other things. So really want to say thanks on behalf of the district.
Member Sadowski.
I would just add, for a little bit for the conversation, that, one thing I've learned through MSB trainings is, number one, this is obviously allowed by state statute. Number two, it's really important that we were able to have this, especially for a lot of smaller communities. They're in small towns, like where I grew up, 300 people, you have a few people often doing a lot of different things and wearing a lot of different hats. And so that's one reason for the state statute being as it is. And I would just add to Member Lofold, just thank you for your work coaching speech and debate over the last many 49 years. My kiddo is in speech and debate, and I know has learned a lot from you, and really appreciate your work mentoring students in that way.
I second that. Do we have, seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of resolution HR 1264152, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Oh, I'm sorry, and do we have an abstention?
Aye, me.
Member Lowfeld is abstaining. Resolution passes. Do we have any other questions at this time? Member Banks?
Thank you very much. I looked at the resolutions and all of those items that are in my file, and then I see the superintendent's contract in there. And so what I need from this board is clarification as to when we are going to accomplish, solidify, approve the contract, because we've been waiting a long time to get this accomplished. We have one of the best superintendents in the state of Minnesota, and I just need to know when we're looking at getting this accomplished.
That contract, as we all have it in our folders, we are still continuing negotiations, and the reason why this month it couldn't be done is that's on me because I still had some final checks to do with our legal counsel. So that is apart from what is going on with the superintendent, but falls on the board chair because the board chair still had some clarifications and things just to make sure that that was getting done. So that's on me. So that contract will be coming up in February.
February.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, one of the best superintendents in the state, and I don't want to lose our superintendent, nor would I want to see our assistant superintendent leave either. So for me, it's important that we get it accomplished. And
I agree with you.
I know February is coming up, but I wish we could have accomplished this sooner.
I agree, Henry, with that, and I take full responsibility on that. That has nothing to do with the superintendent. That has to do with an inexperienced board chair navigating through this contract negotiation. So that's what I have for that. And I would also lift up, as it has been thrown out in the community several times, as we've all done it, is we have given in the 6 years that Superintendent Magus has been our superintendent. No, it's longer than that, isn't it?
No, 6 year.
6 years, okay, 6 years. He has always earned very, very high superintendent evaluations from this board. And so we have worked very diligently on that with him. And again, this is due to an inexperienced board chair navigating through this negotiation. So I would like to thank Superintendent Magus for his time and attention and being patient with me about it. So thank you.
And I'd just like to say thanks to the board chair and the board for continued negotiations. And then just a rhetorical question for you, Member Banks, one of the best? No, just kidding. Just kidding. Thank you, and I appreciate the work of the board and the work of the district, and look forward to hopefully continuing with the service of superintendent to the board and community for the coming years.
Yeah, thank you, Superintendent Magus, and thank you, Member Banks. And before I ask for adjournment, I just want to let our new school board reps know that don't be getting too used to being done here 10 minutes before 8 o'clock, because that doesn't happen very often. So make sure you have all your homework done for these Tuesday nights. After that, I will ask for a motion for an adjournment. Member Williams, do I have a second?
Second.
Member Sadowski, all those in favor of adjournment, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.